To paraphrase Forrest Gump, ranked is like a sack of potatoes. You never know what you're gonna get. That one was absolutely true for this game. I've called this one Flip the Win. It was my most challenging game out of my run to rank 1 in this season 74 of ranked battles. I was just out solo doing it in between bits of housework and bits in the garden and laundry and things. There's myself and the Kamikaze. I did have a go in the Acasta and the T22 as well. In fact, I ranked out with the T22, but it was a pretty mediocre game, to be honest. But this one turned into a bit of a scrap. And should we reward failure? Well, these guys got rewarded for their failure. Not red team, but blue team, because the way this panned out was absolutely unbelievable. Now, the reason I played the Kamikaze is because, obviously, it's very stealthy. It has the fast torpedo reload. However, the guns are absolutely trash with the reload. And the Acasta, the T22, and a few other destroyers will certainly outgun you. So what you're reliant on is spotting for your team and have your team shoot the destroyer so you don't have to. But unfortunately, as I discovered in rank today, that is not often the case. A lot of people are thinking that this is very similar to standard battles, and they insist on keeping shooting at the battleship, believing that damage is going to win them the game. This is a much faster paced version of the game if it's your first time in ranked battles or anything other than standard or AI. 3v3, destroy a cruiser and battleship in this one, and ideally I want to get rid of the battleship with my torpedoes, but he's going to play sneaky and run behind that island because he knows that I'm on this cap. What I also want to do is spot the destroyer, and what I'd like my team to do is to shoot at the destroyer and kill it. So that was obviously torpedoes from the cruiser coming across there. There is the T22 in the gap. I get myself spotted momentarily, so I'm going to fire my guns and try and just get something on him. And if you look here, there's plenty of warning of that destroyer being there. I am pulling a 180 and getting out of there because we've got our cap. The cruiser is pushing down through Bravo, and yeah, our team are continuing to push in this direction. Now, the Tiger played very well. He was very maneuverable, and I was having to spam torpedoes left, right, and center to try and get a hit on this guy without much success. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back to the south because I imagine that that cruiser is going to come round on a flank. Now, for whatever reason, our battleship here, as I look like I'm going to die to torpedoes, but very luckily I don't. He takes two. Why would you push in broadside to a destroyer that you know is there and to a battleship who is kind of angled against you? It is not the most common sense thing to do in the world, really, is it? Now, I could have run down the smoke screen and run against that T22, but with the cruiser running amok on the flank, I didn't think that was a smart idea. And what's also not a smart idea is our cruiser running broadside to a battleship and a ferry taco as we lose our battleship. Awesome. And now I'm going to put my torpedoes right against that corner because I think this guy is going to pull it tight around this one. Our cruiser is still insisting on sailing broadside to everything. I'm sure the Hawken has torpedoes, and they potentially would have been very useful in this situation. But he's insisting on keeping in pushing through in open water, and he dies for his efforts. I'm feeling very lonely now. But that made me feel a little bit better. Now I know I can out-detect the T22, but all that battleship has to do is to stay at range. The T22 can push into this blue cap here and flip it, giving red team a huge, huge advantage. Now, when there's only 3 ships in ranked, it can be useful to split across the 2 caps because 90% of the time, all of the team go for one. What that cruiser did, as soon as he realized our entire team were coming for this cap, is split off and go running for the other one to make sure that they were earning some points. We are currently, 40 points down. Yeah, and there is the T22. That is awesome for me. This guy is slippier than a jelly deal. And if you've never had a jelly deal, I would strongly not recommend it, because I would rather suck the snot out of a grandmother's nose than put a jelly deal in my mouth. But we lose our rudder there. We have to turn away. We have to start kiting. We haven't got a smoke screen available, and this T22 is going to run me down, and I am going to be able to do nothing but run here. We have got a fast reload on these torpedoes, though, but this guy is more than wary that those are going to be heading his way. We lose sight of him, and the battleship is pushing into the edge of the island too, giving his destroyer support. Wouldn't it be great if my team had given me support too? Yes, it would. But, you know, there's no side like a broadside, and if that's where they want to be, then they can go and ruin somebody else's game in their next battle of ranked. I don't think they deserved this match at all. I felt a little bit put out to be thrown in with some proper King Edwards of potatoes, but we can't all have perfect battles, and I certainly didn't have perfect battles all the way either. It took me 20 matches to rank out, and I think it's 15 that you need to complete. It's either 14 or 15, something like that. But it doesn't look like this one is going to be a win at all. Now, I need to get on a cap, but I've got a destroyer running me down, and I'm going to need both caps and to kill the Tiger to be able to have any chance whatsoever of pulling this one back. But we're going to fire our torpedoes out again, because this guy is wiggling. I'm quite certain that the destroyer is obviously seeing these coming. They are running me down, and my engine boost is going to run out before too long, which is going to make me a little bit slower. We get spotted off the T22 again. We're going to fire our guns. He is going to turn to try and get all his guns on. We're going to fire our last set of torpedoes out there and then roll this smoke and keep going away. And this is where both of these guys are going to try to win harder. They literally did not need to do anything here. They are, 500 points up on us. They've got the win in the bag. And it is looking like an absolute defeat. Now, what gets me is I'm running unstoppable, and with my commander, that should be popping at 7 kilometers, and it's not, or 7.5 kilometers, and it's not. And that destroyer is definitely within 7.5 kilometers of me, without a doubt. Now my unstoppable has popped, so this thing is absolutely bugged. Tiger here, sailing in a nice straight line for me. I've pulled a 180, and I think the T22 is chasing ghosts off to my right, but not for much longer. All I want to do is to give those torpedoes a chance to run and hope that I can get lucky, because if I don't, and I am spotted now, my torpedoes aren't reloaded, but we dev strike the battleship for kill number 2 of the game, but we are shafted now. Our turret traverse is absolutely evil on this thing, and I'm expecting torpedoes literally coming straight up the back end of my ship here. He's going to try and gun me down. He's also very wary that I've got these very fast, very quick loading torpedoes, and I'm going to try and spread them as best as I can as he turns out. And what I'm trying to go and do is open the range to him, but we don't need it as we pick up our 3rd dev strike of the game. And somehow, and I have no idea how I managed that, to bring victory from absolute certain defeat. And it just goes to show, doesn't matter what game mode it is, you don't need to try and win harder, because you can throw the game completely. So thanks for participating in that battle to my 2 fellow ranked battle teammates there. You're welcome to the win. It was probably my best moment, and yeah, hopefully that they carried on and managed eventually to rank out like I did, with some interesting and frustrating games along the way. So if you thought that was a good one, smash the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, you can always drop a super thanks, or you can become a member of the channel for as little as 99p a month. So until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and goodbye.